that moment where you record a video for just reminding myself of where we're up to with the demo and all the content and everything, and then I find out that my microphone was muted for the entire thing. Just great. Please excuse my voice again. It's not as it should be. I've still got a cold. It's been a long cold. I've had it for about 2 to 3 weeks now, maybe. But yeah, it's still messing up my throat, which is why I'll sound a bit croaky and weird throughout all of this. So, what are we up to in terms of demo stuff? Because again, I've put out previous updates for this. We're close, but I'm gonna say maybe 2 to 4 months off. Sounds like a long time, but it's really not. It's kind of short. I want everything to be done for the demo for the first quarter of 2025, preferably. But with the amount of work that I have to do, it's crazy. And of course, it's only one person doing this. At the moment, I've been doing behind the scenes. I've been collecting a lot of that. I've been collecting a lot of demo content in terms of like doing the animations and trying to make everything look as good as it can. But I need to back everything up as soon as possible. I've been getting a load of characters, to which there are only a handful left. And because of that, I don't think it would be bad if I backed everything up probably this week, just to make sure I don't have terrible problems. The last time I backed up was ages ago. So I actually need to desperately do that. As well as arrange some files and stuff so I can find them a little bit easier, because at the moment everything is in my downloads folder for Windows. Primarily just because I've been downloading all of my textures and everything else into there, and then just being like, I'll just work out of there, so it's a bit messy in there at the moment, so that needs to be backed up and organized, or organized and then backed up, whichever way you want it. Like I was saying, out of all the characters, we've got 25 roughly new ones. There's only like a handful of them to go. A lot of these are like characters that you will eventually see in the background, that just populate the entire area. I've said this before in other videos. I want this to be the best animation in terms of like making the underground feel fleshed out in an actual lived-in environment by having multiple characters. So these are ones that I've picked out that I think people will remember the most. So as examples, if you go into like Snowdin and you see the bunny girl with Cinnamon, the bunny that she's walking on a leash, I wanted that because it gives me more characters outside, and people remember that one as well as the other bunny across the other side of Snowdin that comments on how weird it is that she's walking. I think it's her brother. Then we've got the Slime family. I've obviously had those for ages. Other characters that go in the library. Some of the other ones from like Grillbees, just having them walking around and then seeing them go about their day. That's the idea for some of the background content. Another good example would be stuff like in MTT Resort, there's a lot of receptionists in there. There's like the hand receptionist, fish receptionist, diamond receptionist, slime janitor, shambling mass, the dragon, the red Oni that makes puzzles in the core, and as well as like Burger Pants and stuff. There's also Catty and Bratty and Snowdrake's father. A lot of those I've already got, so it means that that area does not look as empty. The key point is trying to make these areas not look so empty, and I've been saying that since the very beginning of the project, because you'll notice there are a load of older 3D animations don't have that many characters. And while, yeah, it's a lot of work to do, and while some of it I can probably get away a little bit with not doing as much animation for them, or not as detailed anyway. It's still a little bit of extra work to help bring everything to life, so it's going to take a little bit of time. But it's cool having all of them. In terms of areas, I need to run final art checks on them. And what that means is just looking at them and seeing whether I can add more things that will make them better. Like, for instance, in the ruins, I want to add more rocks and stuff and change the lighting a little bit just so it looks a little bit more realistic. I'm trying to come up with a solution for fake stained glass roof lighting at the moment because I could do it in cycles, because compared to Eevee's render engine, cycles will do that without any messing around. The problem is cycles takes forever to render, and I don't want it to be like forever rendering out 1 or 2 short scenes in there. So the idea is just to try and fake the caustics. Things like that. Hopefully I can get done before Christmas. It shouldn't be too hard, especially if I just ask a couple of people that I know that know Blender really well about shaders and things. We can probably get something worked out within the next couple of days easy. But it's stuff like that where it's smaller details, such as like little things that the camera will pick up on to populate areas to make it not look as flat, for certain areas. Hotland's another example in which each of the levels, I want pebbles on the floor just to kind of sprinkle around a little bit to give it a little bit more variation. And the same with like the interior of the core. I'm going to be putting pipes that you can see on the exterior, on the interior as well, to kind of break up all the geometry on the ceiling and the walls to make them look a little bit more interesting. Luckily, because of how I've broken up the core, I should be able to do that and not have it affect anything. The pipes that I did ages ago, modeled them, I've lowered the polygon count on them. I'm going to try lowering them a little bit more and see whether I can get away with it, but ideally I don't want to have them be too low poly, because then if you see them and see all the jagged edges, it's just going to look bad. So hopefully I can get away with that and just place them on the roof, on the walls and things to make the walls a little bit more detailed and interesting compared to the flat panel textures that I've got at the moment. But that kind of stuff is stuff that I slowly want to get done as well. In terms of the characters, I don't know whether I mentioned this in this video or the previous takes that I messed up, but I need to go back and do shape keys for some of the newer ones, the 25 newer ones. Shape keys essentially are controls that I use for blinking and mouth movement and other things. A lot of the new ones don't have that and only have the bare bones basics, so I'm going to need to make my own shape keys for things like different letters of the alphabet for speaking, different blinking and eye movements and things like that. A lot of that I'm going to have to go ahead and do. That's going to take some time. Hopefully I can get that done before Christmas. Some of the newer rigs that I've got are a lot more cartoony, which is cool. But again, I'm going to have to mess around with them because they work totally differently compared to the older rigs that I've got. I need to go back and relearn how to use the Wiggle 2 add-on that I've got. For anyone who's not familiar with that, Wiggle 2 is an add-on for Blender that allows you to create physics. And the idea is that I can use that for characters' clothes, characters' hair, tails, you name it. And it should hopefully make things a lot easier. My idea is to get all of the characters set up that need it set up with Wiggle 2 so that everything looks and animates how it should, realistically. And of course, I want to get more feedback from you guys. So I'll be coming up with like different video ideas, but it'll probably be short form. I might just do them as shorts, asking questions about certain characters, how you think they would move, the scale of them compared to Frisk, because I still need to kind of work that out. And also the scaling of them next to each other, so that they don't look out of place. And also, potentially, with some of them, what their attacks may look like in 3D. A lot of that will be like imaginary stuff where people are comparing based on either what's been done before by other creators or various different things that they've seen. For me, normally, I look at like anime and stuff and see what can be done there. But yeah, that's where I'm to at the moment, is essentially just like the final things, getting everything ready and making sure everything's backed up, making sure everything is how I need it to be before I go ahead and animate. And then I just need to do the rest of the animating for the demo. And then after that, once we've got an idea of how characters will move and how they're presented in the demo, then I can take that into the full version and it should be pretty easy. And by that I mean at least I'll have almost like animation profiles for each character, so that how they should move and things. There's a lot of other stuff I could go over, but I don't want to go over it right here, right now, because this video has already gone on long enough, and I doubt people stick around this long to hear what's going on with updates. So yeah, thank you very much, everyone. I hope you continue to enjoy the content, and I shall be seeing you in future with hopefully another update telling you that we're really close. I'm doing so much work right now, it's crazy, and I'm losing a lot of sleep from it. Anyway, I'll see you on the next one. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you very much for your continued support. Bye.